All right, next up, Discord's privacy, now with a hint of surveillance. Discord's new privacy update, they say our calls are more secure, but the only new thing anyone's noticing is the age verification catastrophe that is, and the faint aftertaste of Big Brother is typing. Enjoy those encrypted chats right up until your ID is in the cloud, which is always a big thing because a lot of these companies and governments are like, think about the children. Don't be Ubisoft. Be somebody else. Be anybody else but Ubisoft, because they still don't get it yet. They won't blame it on themselves, but they'll sure blame it on anything they can get their hands on. So, you can't kill most fish, not because it's game breaking, but because the devs are haunted by gun violence and colonialism. That's good. Welcome to Digital Coffee Gaming Brew, the podcast that grinds up gaming news with enough bite to caffeinate Bungie's entire HR department. I'm Brett Deister, your digital barista, serving up headlines with sarcasm so sharp you'll think twice before drinking from the company coffee pot. Brace yourself. The news is so bitter, the takes are burnt, and there's more froth than Fallout 76 launch, which was pretty bad, to be honest with you. Bungie looks like it's brewed its last, I guess, pot of Destiny 2 goodness, because it was reported that Destiny is no longer going to be developing or even active development of Destiny 2 in general. So, in other words, Destiny 2 is officially shutting down. Bungie is in a move so cold that it would chill a nitro cold brew, confirm that yes, the final shape wasn't just a title, it's the literal end. The development will be going dark because there will be no more development post June, because June is the last time you can do it. And it looks like there's going to be a wave of layoffs for the developer because they only have one game that they're actively developing, which is Marathon. The unfortunate part is that Marathon is not doing very well either, and Sony had to admit that it took a huge financial loss with Bungie. Bungie basically screwed over Sony so bad that they had to write down a loss for Bungie. Ooh, that's like getting a cup of coffee thinking it's regular coffee and you get decaf. Very upsetting. So, as it turns out, no more Destiny 2 development, but you can still play it for the foreseeable future. There is no report of any active development of Destiny 3, and we may not ever get a Destiny 3 the way Bungie's going with their releases. All right, so the team behind Splitgate apparently is afraid that we run out of shooters with jump pads, now gives us Impulse, citing Titanfall as inspiration because originality is just another word for ad wall running. Here's hoping that they've got enough juice left to make it more than a lukewarm reskin. And that's putting it lightly because Splitgate Reborn, which was Splitgate 2, just did not do very well, and they've had to rebrand it, redo a bunch of different things, and it's still not doing very well. So here's to hoping Impulse does a better job. Now, they said their inspiration is from Call of Duty and Titanfall, specifically more the Call of Duty with the wall running and everything. So we'll see if they can actually get it together and not sell a bunch of skins that looks like I'm in a acid trip waiting for someone to wake me up, because that's what really Call of Duty is now on. It's just skins. We've got skins. And it's like, I don't really care about these skins. All right, so Arc Raiders brings up a roadmap with more details, but we don't really know the details, which in dev speak means more PowerPoint slides and the same playable demo from last year, or just the same thing over and over again. We do know that previously Embark Studios, the developer of Arc Raiders, has said from going from a monthly or every 3 or 4 months for new content, they're going to be doing yearly content. So maybe we'll actually get better content this way, but it looks like they're leaning towards more the casual market than the hardcore market, because if you're only going to be doing it once or twice a year for the updates, that's not a lot, but well, at least you can enjoy the pretty grass with your cold brew, because that's really all you're going to get is just, look, all these things we're going to be eventually giving you. And it's like, yay, where is it? All right, so next up is Herman Miller is going to be making a gaming desk. Yes. You're welcome to everybody that thinks that we need another gaming desk for standing, but Herman Miller's gaming desk is going to cost as much as your rent, and promising secret weapon cable management. For the price, I want my USB ports to brew espresso and the riser to whisper positive affirmations every time my kill to death ratio drops. But it is quite expensive, and they're going after the Secret Labs desk, but in reality, Secret Labs is doing a better job from what I actually looked at it. I saw you could like put things on the back panel of the desk, and they do have some cable management stuff, but you couldn't like mount your desktop underneath your desk. You didn't have a one cable that's going to the plug. You didn't have like the desk like having one networking cable going to your internet. Like, there's things that I would like that they don't offer, except for, look, we got a pegboard and you can put stuff on here. And I'm like, I can also buy it for a lot cheaper for a pegboard. So it's kind of like going to a fancy coffee shop, hoping you're going to get really nice coffee, and you get Starbucks or similar to Starbucks, or even better yet, Folgers, because that's always a good one too. All right, next up, Discord's privacy, now with a hint of surveillance. Discord's new privacy update, they say our calls are more secure, but the only new thing anyone's noticing is the age verification catastrophe that is, and the faint aftertaste of Big Brother is typing. Enjoy those encrypted chats right up until your ID is in the cloud, which is always a big thing, because a lot of these companies and governments are like, think about the children. And I'm all for protecting children, but there's a point where it's a little out of hand. We're getting to that point where it's like, protect the children. You must verify that you're an adult for using Windows. I'm like, what? That don't need to do that. That's an operating system that doesn't have any adult things on there, unless you call utilizing Excel an adult thing. And I totally agree with you. That's hard. That's really hard. But this is not what we need. We need encryption. We just need to stop with the age verification BS that it seems to be always cramming down our throats to save the children, but really it's just to have more information on us. All right, so Warhor Studios has confirmed it's more medieval mud and misery instead of elves and orcs. Middle Earth RPG? Never heard of it? Expect historical accuracy, dental decay, and caffeine dependency to get you through hour 15. And that's if they actually still go with what Kingdom Come Deliverance is. We're not really quite sure, but with their pedigree, it's probably going to lean more into the realistic than it is going to be more the high fantasy, which I'm not against at all. I think the Shadow series from Monolith was an excellent series that was a little bit more gritty, not so high fantasy. But unfortunately, WB decided, hey, you should make a Wonder Woman game. Oh, wait, it's not good. We're just going to shut down this developer. And I'm like, where's my third entry into the Shadows series of the games? I want to know what happens. And we will never know what happens. We will never, ever know. It is unfortunate that we will never know. It's like you drink a cup of coffee and it's a really, really good one, and you can never find it again, and you dream of finding that cup of coffee one more time. It just never happens. It's tragic. All right, so Fate Keeper Early Access now serving beta beans. Fate Keeper drops June 2nd in early access, so get to play for alpha testing and hope the barista doesn't forget your order in the next 12 months. And it should be interesting to see what this one's all about. It seems like it's a more dark, grittier, I would say more akin to the Elder Scrolls, but we also have Tainted Grail, which is a pretty good one as well. So it looks like we're getting more of the gritty ones, and the developers are giving us new games as opposed to recycling the games that Bethesda seems to do really, really well. What anniversary edition are we on for Skyrim? Is this like the 15th anniversary of the anniversary of the anniversary? It's like brewing a cup of coffee and then keeps on brewing in the same beans that you already ground in, and it's like, this is getting weak and old, and I almost want to have decaf because of how terrible this is. So let's hope that this one's actually pretty good, but we'll see about a few weeks if this is actually going to be good or if you should just let this go. Helldivers 2 graphics settings now with extra jargon. So Helldivers 2's next patch will support NVIDIA DLSS 4.5 and AMD FSR 4.03 and PS5 Pro PSSR 2.1, but not 2, unfortunately. They're not going to be doing 2. So they added more acronyms than a Starbucks happy hour and still no patch for lobbies full of trolls, which, I mean, is part of the course in this one. I mean, it's still a fun game, but yeah, I mean, there's issues with it. And they've also gotten one of the PlayStation developers that is really good with remasters or graphical settings, or actually porting games. I should say porting PS games to PC, which unfortunately Sony is not doing anymore for their single player ones. Big mistake. And they're relying on them to help them with this, hopefully to help with issues of performance and just keeping up with things and making sure that Helldivers can actually run smoothly, because in a game like that where you're dropping into a hot zone, either with bugs, aliens, zombies, or automatons, you kind of want good performance, because then you just don't want to be overrun by bugs and be like, I didn't even know there was one. So we'll see what happens. Ubisoft's quarterly loss, it's the AI's fault, not ours. And Ubisoft just filed a record loss in the billions. It's quite a big loss. Pretty tragic. Then drop the blame like a hot cup of coffee on AI, the market, and probably the weather, maybe your graphic settings. I mean, who knows? They could blame anybody. We're only one earnings call away from an open world procedural coffee simulator starring algorithmic baristas. And you know how that works out. More Starbucks coffee that's just tastes terrible. But seriously, they're pivoting to say, hey, we need to use more AI. And it's like, no, you guys need to make good games. The reason why you were hurting so badly is because Star Wars Outlaw was not, it was okay, but it took a year to get okay. And then Assassin's Creed Shadows, it just made no sense. Like, this is like Christopher Nolan Odyssey with race swapping. Stop with the race swapping. It doesn't work. People don't like it. But no, it's fine. You can do whatever you want, but to your own detriment, you'll lose a lot of money. Don't be Ubisoft. Be somebody else. Be anybody else but Ubisoft, because they still don't get it yet. They won't blame it on themselves, but they'll sure blame it on anything they can get their hands on. So we'll see if AI actually helps their games. I'm not seeing it. Subnautica 2, big sales, EULA with extra guilt. So Subnautica 2 has sold 4 million copies, faster than you can say morally superior fish. Of course, the EULA drama brewed up fast. Devs promise streamers won't be banned, at least not until the next controversy. And let's be honest with you, the whole EULA was a big issue, and it still is a big issue. I mean, come on, guys. Like, you're going to ban anybody for looking you the wrong way, or maybe giving you the wrong cup of coffee? I don't know. You're like, we won't ban streamers, I promise you, until you do ban the streamers, because it gives you the right, or it gives you the reason to ban them. And the streamers could be like, I don't like your politics in these games. Banned. We won't know. It should be ownership, and you're like, nah, you're just renting it. It's like, come on, guys. You have a lot of goodwill right now, but probably like me and others, we're done with you. And you'll know why I'm done with them soon. But I'm happy for you. I'm happy that it sold 4 million copies in a week. But come on, like, this is not good. And there's more controversy too. They just can't stop with it. They're like, hey, look, we made a great game. Also, the reason why we're doing the things we're doing in our game is because of colonialism and gun violence. Because that's always a good reason. All right, so when ideology pollutes your coffee pot, and or if it's just Subnautica 2 being stupid. So, cups up, it's time for the beastliest roast of the week. Let's talk about what happens when developers spike your coffee with unsweetened, agenda-driven creamer until the taste is unrecognizable. Exhibit A, Unknown Worlds and its ideological shipwreck that is Subnautica 2. So, you can't kill most fish, not because it's game-breaking, but because the devs are haunted by gun violence and colonialism. Yes, they seriously dropped those reasons as if your digital fish murder spree is a TED Talk away from actual historical atrocities. I guess if you fillet a virtual trout, you're a colonial oppressor now. Give it time. Maybe the sequel, which will probably be 3, which I'm pretty sure will actually happen, will ask you to attend a sensitivity seminar before you can harvest kelp. Meanwhile, the in-game predators, they're free to reign to munch their way through the ecosystem, but if you so much as wield a pointy stick, suddenly the spirit of Rousseau erupts from your HUD, wagging a finger with every bite. Let's pound down the obvious. Survival games are about surviving. And sometimes that means eating whatever's not faster than you. Sure, liberal ideologies make for juicy social feeds, but in a world where everything is literally trying to eat you, no violence is a hipster latte order. Completely vacuous, expensive, and impractical. If you can't handle moral complexities, you probably shouldn't be trying to code it into mechanics where the core loop is try not to die. Games aren't here to solve historical injustices. They're here to see if you can outswim a murder eel on 3 hours of sleep and a caffeine buzz. Impose your worldview, and then calling it balance isn't innovation. It's a decaf substitute for good design. So, to Unknown Worlds and studios everywhere, if your politics makes the survival genre impossible, maybe rediscover what you're making. Don't turn your core loop into a social studies lesson. Just make sure it's fun, dangerous, and strong enough to wake up the part of the audience that's still here for a challenge, not an editorialized segment on the injustices of whatever past history you think it is. Look I'm all for righting wrongs, but in a survival game, that doesn't make any sense. Pacifism and colonialism is weird, and gun violence is weird. It's all weird travesties that aren't really travesties. First of all, you're still killing some of the fish, and you're still colonizing the ocean in the alien planet because it allows you to base build. That's colonizing. So you're saying all this stuff while allowing it. Wow, pretty hypocritical. It's just stupidity at its finest, and it's usually liberal ideologies that don't understand reality. Your games are successful because it's based in reality. They are unsuccessful, well, minus Subnautica 2, because the first game allowed you to kill just about anything. I just played it recently. I went murder fishing. Some of them I couldn't even pick up, but I still could murder the fish because I had a knife. So it went from, yeah, it's okay to kill things to, nope, this is bad. This is bad. Where's the consistency here? It's just one bad step after another. But there you have it. Headlines brewed to a boil and a main topic roasted just shy of burning. Destiny 2 is gone. Bungie's staffing up at LinkedIn. And if you're still holding on to hope for ideological game design, I'll sell you an artisan mug complete with holes. This is Brett Deister, your digital barista. Keep your mugs full. Your takes bolder than a black eye. And for the love of actual gameplay, don't drink the decaf if you're craving a real challenge. Stay caffeinated, keep questioning, and if a developer tries to pour politics in your pot, send it back. Barista's ordered.